Okay. So, welcome to another evidence recording session. Okay, this is highly important. This now, in regards to the law, evidence as such, I need to get it clear and on the record that still to this day, that law enforcement has not enacted, been in contact with, communicated with on any level, in any way, any kind of reassurance that not only am I going to get justice, but I'm not going to get justice. They're, as per usual, relying on the ever-going, ongoing aspect of my instinctual nature. Some would call it intelligence, to be able to read between the lines in regards to scenarios, situations, people, and moments. So my home internet should have been connected yesterday. It wasn't. Unfortunately, it's going to cause a whole host of issues and problems as I go live today. And I get that they are helping and assisting in regards to the progress of my health because of how much I was damaged, but they've gone at me again in the middle of the night. And as I've said, it's all to do with that moment of that thermal pocket with there being no heat. And obviously we're in the height of winter here in the United Kingdom. And they've tried to isolate that and take advantage of that. And you can remember my bloodstream as a national service, it'll just accelerate past that. I was born with that genetic code, but they've tried to isolate the thermal pocket, swap it around, and then kind of sort of try and attack. Again, it's them that's doing it. Has done it. They've done it yesterday, late on. And it's all to do with the thermal pocket. That's why in summertime, everything is kind of like, light and rosy. Not rosemary, but light and rosy. So, so what do I mean in regards to effect? So the effect is, once upon a time, I'd be waking up and it would be a case of, ugh. Whereas now, it's not only past that, it's not only, it's not so much, it is an attack on the neural intelligence side of things, but what it's also an attack on is my ability to feel positive and humorous. And that's what they're looking to contain. These are violations again, and you know who's doing this. The police know who's doing this. The FBI know who's doing this. Your dear Pat is finished beyond it. She's behind all of that. So again, they've tried to go and attack the genetic code again through all this myriad of different swap arounds and frequency changes. How and why have they done? It's because they've taken advantage of me sleeping at different times and the thermal pocket of within my bedroom being cold for a few hours. So what they've done, and it's exactly how they've done it. probably they're finished. Well, to be honest, they never even got started. Their lives are a lie. And that's the top I'm on with it. Their lives are a lie. So, it's highly important in regards to investigators, in regards to information and data. Now, what you must remember is that I haven't downloaded any videos or any of my work or any of my data. I haven't decided whether I will yet or not. And the reason I've come to this kind of like stance position is because of what happened last night. Is because of what happened last night. Because what they've done is they've taken advantage. I mean, I was gonna, but they've taken advantage. Let's type something in there. They've taken advantage of of that moment, and it's made me think, wait a minute, so you are not serious about helping to heal. You are not serious in helping to get past this scenario, because otherwise you wouldn't have done that. You see, again, it's the same old scenario. They're scared of that. They're scared of the ability to not know and not know what I'm going to do, say, and how I'm going to react. But they just attack that process again by isolating that thermal pocket, trying to take an advantage of it and take it for themselves is exactly what they've done, and they should be arrested immediately. The police know what I'm on about, and so do the government, and they've done it again. They've tried to take that acceleration for themselves because they believe historically that it belongs to them, but it doesn't. But it doesn't belong to them, does it? So America's just going to take advantage of that now, and they have to take advantage of that now. It's like I've tried expressing and making clear before about this, is that every time, and this is why you cannot beat nature. When will you get it through your head? You cannot beat nature. Is that every time when a serious moment comes and you try to isolate that thermal pocket and you try to attack nature, it's just going to flex its muscle when it gets serious and just absolutely annihilate you, which is going to make other people ill like that. And that's what happens every time you attempt. The problem that's there now, that I really feel for others, is that when one individual tries that and does that, it not only makes themselves ill, all the other people that are attached and supporting that scenario, they're going to be affected by this. And every time you try, when will they accept that nature is nature and you cannot beat nature? You just can't. Look, the elders and the older ones, they understood all of this years ago, and they were just let him be happy, let him be free, let him. It's his, and not. And it's just the bitterness of individuals like Pat who continue to go and intervene and try to believe. You see, they've been living their lives. Their lives are a lie. I've worked too hard for this, and what have you been working too hard for? What idiot led you astray like that to make you believe these things? Because all it's done is, as you've tried to snatch pinch, steal, whatever common loose term you want to use, it's just not only going to snatch back, it's going to hurt you in the process. And I don't mean me physically hurting somebody. No, it's just the code is that every time you try to attack that scenario, every time, when it's serious and there's, oh, you want to do that, do you? And you'll become ill instantly. From what I know and what I understand and what I've led to learn, and this is what happens when you attack genetic code. And what am I doing? Just minding my own goddamn business. Not bothering anybody, sleeping. And it's not so much what their issue is that I've been sleeping at different times of the day. I'm entitled to sleep at any time all day of the week and day I want. If I want to have 8 hours sleep, I'll have 8. If I want to have 14 hours sleep, I'll have 14 hours sleep. If I want to only have 6, I'll have 6. Got nothing to do with you or anybody else. You're living, and there's many of them living. Their lives are a lie, and they've allowed themselves to believe all of this stuff of what others have been telling them. Their realities, you could say, are not based on truth. And credit to the Bureau and Scotland Yard and the government for actually weeding out and proving this straight to straight, element to element, moment to moment. They're not capable of understanding truth, and they believe they're going to get something out of this. The only thing that I want out of this is justice. Is justice, and I want everybody jailed for this. I've said this since the very first minute. You cannot say that I did not try to warn you and tell you every step of the way to stop doing it, to stop. Even though my computer system, cyber-wise, things are improving in regards to that. There's attacks still coming in, as there was yesterday and the day previous, but they've weeded out this the ports, the serial ports, in regards to who was using the Bluetooth parked up in cars around the addresses. But they've not just been doing it here; they've been doing it at previous address and that's how they've kept this whole thing going. Now, at the minute, that's just at the minute, it looks like that scenario has been eliminated. So, from a cyber point of view, even though that there are certain software programs that I can't access, and if I do access, the patent administration of it all gets hooked into by the owners in regards to political interference, the political influence, and so on, and that's what's happening. And that is used to attack not only this laptop, but the remote servers, analysts, communications, and their architecture, which is helping defend my scenario, my situation. And you've got a real, even more pressing issue today, is that when my landline goes live. But you've got an even bigger problem, is that the problem should have gone live yesterday. And it didn't go live yesterday. It didn't go live yesterday is because somebody again is lying. And this again comes down to the FBI and the police. All they've got to do is stop asking a certain individual a certain thing, because that individual is just going to keep lying. Not only did they never have any skin in this situation, they never had no legitimate right. They're just taking advantage of a situation, of something others did to me. And that's got to be eliminated, because it's not their identity, it's not their communications. That's why a certain internet provider is very, from an urgent point of view, looking to press ahead today to sort this out quickly. But you're missing the point, legality-wise, or they are anyway, is that you're 24 hours too late. As the police will tell you. Because all that needs to happen now is I can actually sue my internet provider for that. That they can offer certain things of this and that, but I can take legal action now and complain to the authorities about that officially now. But the problem is you're 24 hours too late. I have a contract. It was to go live yesterday. You couldn't do that. You couldn't even sort that out. You couldn't fit the box. You couldn't, because you automatically thought that that was just going to be connected. The rest assurance, the text messages, the emails, all proved that you said everything was live and fine. But no, it isn't. So that's why other companies are going to take advantage of being investigated in the past by the Metropolitan Police, you see. And they've tried to take advantage of that through that thermal pocket, in addition to that, almost like down the gun barrel style. But that's just going to do nothing but hurt them. It's going to hurt them financially. It's going to hurt them because they won't accept that this is an impenetrable situation. There's no way around this, past this, or you're going to have to accept that you committed all those crimes on an innocent man. And you did. The faction aspect of it all and the espionage aspect of it all has got absolutely nothing to do with me. And the problem you've got is what continues to happen to me, even though it's come much less. It still is happening. Now, what's infuriating is that there have been signs over the past couple of weeks that my health is resuming, getting better, and so on and so on. But then you have that moment of yesterday where the same people who were helping me are removed. Other people are put in that place, guising as that, and then attack. And it's those who need brought to account. That room and that room. And it's down to bitterness and jealousy is what it is. It's what it is, but it's got to, again, it's more, from an additional point of view, it's more evidence to prove that these individuals never were doing anything, they just existed and piggybacked. They existed and piggybacked. Not actually really doing it. So their existence comes highly into question. My existence doesn't come highly into question because my memories, my identity, the years of evidence, and so on, all topped up. It's the same person. Because it is the same person. So they've tried to reverse that again and try and attack that scenario again. That is how you know that the individuals did what they did over the past 24 hours. Those individuals have replaced that set of individuals, guised as them, and attacked while they can, and then pulled back out. So as they pull back out, you've got to follow who's done that over the past 24 hours. And I'm telling you, it's Pat. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's her. And it's who she's with. And she's making it worse on herself. That's why the police have got to go and arrest her now. Now they have to, she's not only finished, but, well, you'll see what's happened. And is happening. Is that when you go for the throat like that, you go for a kind of like the ultimate steal. I don't know how many times I have to say that the code is impenetrable. And as soon as you try that, it's all the excuses under the sun to basically self-defend and do what needs to be done. The Metropolitan Police and the FBI know the importance of preserving and enriching and allowing the natural code to do what it takes to maintain order, to maintain law and order, civil society, and our financial prosperity. But the financial prosperity of the United Kingdom doesn't belong to him, doesn't belong to him. It doesn't belong to anybody in the Middle East or America or Russia or the United States. It doesn't. It belongs here. But you've got the wrong people guising, which I think is going to be a big scenario coming up. And you've got the wrong people guising who are nipping in and out using all kinds of means to deceive and trick, hide behind, do the damage, pull out. And America already knows what's been going on in Africa, and it's that same group who's doing it, because they believe that just a bunch of them, I don't know, can rule the world and overtake everybody and everything by hiding behind the masks and hiding behind the chairs and arranging the chairs. You're not arranging anything, Pat. You never were, you never would, you never could, you never shall. I'm never going to allow anything as monstrous and as fucking goddamn horrific to be anywhere near me. And she's not only been caught attacking before, she's doing it now again as we speak. They're not trying to help. They're trying to steal at the last second and eliminate. Blake 7-star. That's exactly what they're doing. I've done. It's to do with the air and the flow and the temperature in regards to the inner and the outer. And that's what they've done. They've taken advantage of that thermal pocket of the heater being off for a few hours in the room. They've cooked some more vegetables, sprouts. They've hoovered up, they've swapped backwards and forwards to clean it. And they're doing all this stuff under the guise of things when really what they're actually really genuinely doing is trying to swap the frequency around. And that's the real horrific part in this, is that in order for the law to understand how they're doing it, you've got to see how they're hiding under the guise of what they're doing in terms of menial everyday tasks and so on and so on. So once you understand that, you isolate that scenario. But what's happening is that you think it's those two. No, what's happened is those two have been infiltrated, are being messed around with to do the negative scenarios and tasks, and then they pull out, and then the original group get another shot at that situation. Next thing you know, they go, well, we haven't done that, look what's happened here, we haven't done this. The investigator's going, right, well, who has done that? Well, that's you too. No, so you've got to be really careful, and this is how your dear Pat and how they've been getting away with it for so long. They cut themselves out the responsibility factor because technologically you need to prove that scenario, how they're doing it. I'll keep you in tune. I'll keep the law up to date in regards to that. But they've done it again over the past 24 hours. And they've done it for prep-wise. It's because they know that the internet is getting connected today. That's how you know they plan to basically download in my name. So the law needs to be clear, is that there'll be no downloading done. Downloading for absolutely anything is on hold indefinitely at the minute until I can be convinced. And at the minute, I'm not convinced in regards to the security of the ownership of the data, the details, the identity, the memory, and so on, so on. So that's how you know I am me, is because I've got conscious control of that. And what they constantly are trying to do is interfere, to manipulate, pull out, and then allow the natural circumstance to flow their way again, you see. That's what they're trying to do. That's what the attempt, that's how they know, is that over the past few hours when they've attempted that, they've immediately become ill. That's how they know it's over for them now. Indeed. It's because they've gone for the code again. They've been told endlessly, from what I understand anyway, that stop messing with nature, stop attacking, stop damaging, stop doing all of these, and they just continue to do it. But what they're doing is they're just getting more devious, more sly in terms of responsibility and the fact to be able to prove that. Well, it's just don't. No, you understand what genuine two are in there, and then what genuine two are interfering, doing it in their name, then pulling out and them getting the blame. See, you need to understand that, and that's exactly what's happened over the past 24 hours. It's Pat that's done it. I'm telling you this now. But until world leaders, European Unions, and United Nations, until you get a real grip of where the real horror and real problem is, it's not so much the drudgery of everything south You need to get a grip on who's dipping in and out of, who's coming backwards and forwards to be able to do that. And they just keep passing it backwards and forwards to one another. When not only do they have the right, not the right to do that, the Middle East doesn't have the right to do that. Because it's me you've got to convince at the end of the day. That you ain't convincing me. Well, you're not convincing me. They're not convincing me, both subconsciously and indirectly. It's because you keep taking advantage of those moments when those moments arise. And where's the evidence? Past few hours, there's the evidence. You've tried to attack the code again. You've tried to attack the thermal pocket is basically, well, that's isolated and cold. You can take advantage of that now. That's why